Hello YouTube, this is Chris from the team MiLE, giving you a look at my tournament-worthy dragon deck, Dragonsworn, Twilight, that's what everyone calls it. I won my locals with this, pulled a tour guide in my winnings, and I don't know, it's pretty consistent. I played the top tier 6 Sams, top tier Dark Worlds, uh, Shooting Star first turn decks, and most decks, and I usually just win. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the deck profile, and you guys are free to ask me questions about the deck, how to run it, recommendations, and you're free to go ahead and edit this deck if you'd like. I wouldn't mind it, and I'd actually like to see some more use out of it in tourneys. Alright, so we'll start off with the 1 Dark Flare. Keep it at 1. Anything higher than that isn't needed. 2 Eclipse Wyvern. You can run more if it's just dragon heavy, but since you got the Lightsworns in here, you don't need more than 2. 2 Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Works really well with the Light Pulsars. And you don't ever use the Eclipse Wyverns for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, because you'll get the Red Eyes Darkness Metals through other ways, like the Light Pulsar, which you run 3 of in any dragon deck where you're using Chaos Aspect. Those are all dragons, and there you go. Moving on to the Lightsworns, you have 1 Jane, simple, 1 Aaron, 1 Lumina, double Raikou because it's useful, and triple MST or Lila. That's basically what you use it for, and it forces them to draw out their Solemns on this card, and it forces them to use their Veilers, which is nice. Yeah, that's it for the Lightsworns. The reason you run that many is for the Judgment Dragon. Gonna move on to the cards that don't fit into much of a category but are useful and you need in the deck. Cards like Card Trooper. I took out Phantom of Chaos and I decided to put in Gale. I think Gale's a better card. Synchro Summoning tends to work out way more. You get way more pluses off of the synchros than Phantom of Chaos, in my opinion. Dark Arm Dragon. You get them out so easily. Just with all the grave control you have, bringing things out of the grave or putting things back in the grave, you can set up everything for Dark Arm. Got the 1 JD, you get this card out once every 10 games basically, unless you're trying to set up JD. Might as well run Lightsworn stuff if you're going to do that. With the 1 Plague, I mean, this is the best option for a tuner in this deck. Got the Chaos Sorcerer. 1's good. Don't go over that. Instead of putting a second Chaos Sorcerer, I mean, if you can't afford it, put another Chaos Sorcerer in. But Blackluster Soldier, I mean, it's a godly card and works just great in this deck. You got the Gores, then the double Veiler. You need Veilers in just about every deck. And then the Sangan with the 3 tour guides. That's it for the monster lineup. You run the tour guides for grave control a lot. If you get Dad and the tour guide and you start pulling tour guides and stuff in your hand, you go ahead and you start detaching, throwing things in the grave just so you can get the right amount. Then you banish and stuff until you can get whatever you need. You got your 3 staples: Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole. You got Mind Control, because you're synchroing, decent amount in this deck. I mean, you could take it out for Allure of Darkness, but I personally just hate that card. I hate Allure of Darkness. I don't like banishing my cards. And then the Future Fusion, what makes the deck. If you draw this first hand, you win the game. Simple as that, unless they got an MST. But got the one charge with your draw power. Solar Recharge. You got 3 of them. And your only trap in the deck, you may be thinking, he's running one trap? That's a horrible deck. Why doesn't he run Salaams? No Fiendish Chains? No Compulse? No, you don't run any of that because you are the one with all the control. They should be thinking about how to stop you. You shouldn't be thinking about, oh, I gotta negate this, negate that. You get Light Pulse or Red Eyes Darkest Metal field, they're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to destroy both of them by battle? I mean, it causes problems for them. Plus, if you've already got one in the grave, then they really don't know what to do. I mean, they Black Rose the field, and guess what happens? Comes right back. So, I mean, there's no need for the Solemn Brigade or Fiendish Chains and stuff. The main decks that I played with this that tend to hurt are decks that run Skill Drain. Even though there's so much stuff with the grave happening, like Dark Worlds. Okay, that's probably the worst matchup, considering Grapha's 3000 with the field spell, and everything else you've got is 2800 or lower, except for Judgment Dragon. So that's where this card comes in handy. I used to run Lance in here, but that's before I got Tour Guides. I don't know. This deck is really, really consistent. I mean, I win, I'd say about 90% of the games I use this deck win. That's what sort of makes it boring, but if you guys just want to consistently win and go up against tier 1 decks and just annihilate them, this is the deck for it. Moving on to the extra. Unfortunately, this is not finished by me. I do have some proxies in here, and I'll tell you what I would run. Okay, I have 2 Leviathan. I would drop that down to 1 for another card I'll show you. And then I got my Wind-Up Zemains proxied, which I will get the super in the tin. And in case anyone doesn't know, they're coming out with a super. Got the 1 Levier, also proxied. I'm working on that one. And got the Utopia. Magical Android. Good solid 5, gains life points, high attack. This would be a Catastor, but I don't got that yet. I'm working on it. And if anyone's got a Catastor and they're willing to trade, I got cards. I'll trade you. Got the Iron Chain Dragon. It's a good 6-star. It's Dragon. Works with Red Eyes, Darkest Metal. Got the Bryonic for Grave Control, Bouncing. It's just a staple in any deck. Scrap Archfiend. I don't know. I just can't find a better card to put in there for it. And then Black Rose, your other staple. I love this card, Thought Ruler Archfiend. Yeah, I love it so much. It's just so fun to use. Then you got your Shien, or your Void Ogre. Stardust. Red Dragon Archfiend. 5-headed, and then your token for Gores. Another card I'm looking for is Scrap Dragon. If anyone wants to do Tour Guide for Scrap Dragon, I can do that trade, or anything different. That's basically my Dragon deck. It is really good. I seriously recommend it to anyone. I mean, if you want to win your games, I mean, there are other decks out there that are good, but this deck just wipes the floor with just about every deck. Another deck this deck has some trouble with is MiLE decks, and you don't really run into those that often, but you can lead to, you gotta think through your turns when you're playing MiLE, because MiLE decks you'll be discarding, they'll be milling you, and you'll have to sit there and think, oh damn, he's got Book of Eclipse set. Okay, I'll bring out Dark Armed Dragon, so he'll have to do it. You just have to plan out everything. But anyway, that's Chris from the Team MiLE. Sorry if this was a little long. You're probably not even watching the video anymore. But if you did, you get a cookie, sir. Cookie for you. Put down a comment in the section if you get a cookie. Cookies. Chris, Team MiLE, peace out.